Hello, everybody. This is Coach Batafarano.
I'm Coach Danny Rufo.
And we are honored to speak to everybody today regarding a little bit about the history of Delcastle High School, and also the history of one of the things that's extremely important to Coach Rufo and myself, and that is our school colors. So we're going to start off with a little bit about where the school came from and our early days. If you don't know, or if you've never noticed up front, the cornerstone in our building has the year 1968, which means that beginning at the end of the 2017 calendar year, we're going to start celebrating the 50th birthday, the 50th anniversary of Delcastle.
Delcastle High School started as Brown Vocational School in downtown Wilmington. You might know the area. Today it is where the Hercules building is, down along the Brandywine, just a few blocks away from our sister school, Howard.
So H. Fletcher Brown started out in 1938. By the mid to late 1960s, it was decided that a vocational technical high school was needed outside the city of Wilmington. Now, of course, Howard had their spot not only in Wilmington, but also in the history of Delaware. So the idea was to take H. Fletcher Brown and transition that into a suburban Votech school.
Located along just off of the recently created Robert F. Kirkwood Memorial Highway. That's the Kirkwood Highway to you and me.
So by the time 1968 rolled around and they broke ground here at Delcastle, the students at Brown Votech slowly began, by 1969 and 70, transitioning their students from Brown to this brand new school outside in the suburbs, just off Newport Road.
Now, the original Brown High School, as you could imagine, their colors towards the end were brown and white. Originally, their colors were blue and red for many, many years. When the schools transitioned over to the Delcastle property, we found that they brought their athletic traditions with them. And for a time, red was in the uniform.
If you think about it, Brown originally being navy blue and red, and then incorporating white when they transitioned to the Brown Bears. By the time they got to Delcastle, they took the navy blue, the white, the red, and also picked up an additional gray, and those became our original school colors. Early on in Delcastle athletics, we had multiple examples and photographic evidence of the red in our uniforms. And it's kind of an interesting story because red was used in multiple sports through the 1970s until we got into the early 1980s. Baseball kind of hung on to the red until the early to mid 1980s. Then for a few years, the color disappeared.
I will recall that football did keep red in the inside of the D on their logo on their then silver helmet. When I played high school football in Delaware at the St. Elizabeth High School, we played Delcastle, and I remember those helmets and that logo very, very well.
In our collage of pictures, you will see that original D, the red D logo that Mr. Rufo is talking about, which was used in our football helmets from 1986 through 1990. Then there was a gap from 1990 on. For whatever reason, red disappeared entirely from the Delcastle palette.
And almost disappeared completely from its history. If you ask some alumni, they have no recollection of the color red, while others remember it fondly.
And that brings us to 2004 conversation. He mentioned how much he loved our uniforms, and then he asked me, in just an off-the-cuff way, he said, "Coach, where's the red?" I had no idea, honestly, what he was talking about. So Mr. Rufo and I got together and cracked into the yearbooks.
And we spent many hours indeed, going through yearbook year after year. The color photos were the most significant because obviously they're what we were looking for, but even in the black and white photos, you can make out red, certainly in trimmings and pipings, of several uniforms, including the cheerleader.
So beginning with the spring 2015 baseball season, I said, you know what, to honor the history of the school and the heritage of the athletic program, we're going to start bringing back just some traces of red into the uniform. A couple of stripes on our socks and some red accents on the button in our baseball caps.
And at this point, we have thousands of alumni all over America, and we look forward to honoring them and Del Castle's history this year.